Tonight, see all the details regarding last night's presidential debate between Joe Biden and President Donald Trump and why it furthered unrest in Cleveland.
And we have the details about how former Vice President Joe Biden is doing an unconventional type of campaigning today, coming up.
I'll give you tonight's forecast and let you know what weather the fall season will bring for us over the next week.
And following shortly after the debate, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine tweeted his thoughts on the event, what he commented on, and how people reacted. TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Wednesday evening, Portage County. Thank you for joining us tonight. TV2 News is the source for your post-debate coverage, and that's where we'll begin. I'm Chris Abreu.
And I'm Shane Troyano. Now, last night's debate was a lot to unfold, so we will do it for you.
The two candidates wasted no time going after one another, leaving many Americans disappointed.
A Black Lives Matter protest was held in Cleveland last night, just ahead of the presidential debate. The protesters met at the Cleveland Museum of Art, and organizers hope that attendees do more than march.
It's good to march to let people know to mobilize, but what we are is organizers, and organizing to actually change the policies that we have in place, because it's not working for a lot of people. So we're encouraging everybody to vote and to get in these positions of power so we can create the world that we want to live in, create a good world.
One protester spoke on how she's not happy with the choice of candidates to vote on for this election.
I'm not alone in that feeling. Pretty much everybody that I know, we all hate Biden, but we hate Trump so much more because he's done so much damage. So coming out here today, I'm basically protesting the fact that there's not a candidate that I'm happy to root for or that I'm proud of voting for.
I also spoke with an independent candidate who says he could be the one to help bring people together.
The reason why I'm running for president is because we need a unifier. Somebody to be a bridge to knock down all these walls that have been put up for years. That kept us divided. They kept us afraid of talking about race in a way that make you feel comfortable and me feel comfortable at the same time. Not pointing fingers at anybody who has difference of opinion, not fully understanding about the plights about African Americans. African Americans, Black Lives Matter needs a voice.
It was so beautiful to see people unifying together, and that, everybody here was involved, and people are going to stay diligent, no matter what, barricades they try to put, people are going to represent.
Reporting in Cleveland for TV2 News, I'm Rachel Gross.
Thank you, Rachel. Organizers for presidential debates decided to reformat how the discussion works shortly after many criticized the debate last night. The Commission on Presidential Debates announced today that they will be working with both candidates to figure out an agreed-upon set of rules. Some are suggesting that cutting of a candidate's mic when they speak out of line may work.
Many people tuned in last night to watch the highly anticipated presidential debate, but what did they not see were the rallies and protests nearby. TV2's own reporter Rachel Gross has the story.
Cleveland.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen,
this is so unprecedented. He's going to pack the court. There's nothing smart about you, Joe.
President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden squaring off in their first face-to-face matchup this election.
Everything he's saying so far is simply a lie.
I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
An opportunity for each candidate to paint their opponent as wholly unfit to lead the nation.
He wants to shut down this country, and I want to keep it open.
The president has no plan.
Moderator Chris Wallace challenging the candidates on 6 topics during the 90-minute event, including the Supreme Court.
We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is.
We have a phenomenal nominee.
COVID-19.
The president has no plan.
We got the masks. We made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine.
I know how to do the job.
The economy.
We closed it down, and now we're reopening, and we're doing record business.
He's going to be the first president of the United States to leave office having fewer jobs in his administration than when he became president.
Race and violence in our cities.
This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division.
We believe in law and order, but you don't.
and election integrity.
If it's a fair
You're urging
election,
them what?
I am 100% on board.
I will accept it, and he will too.
President Trump also facing new scrutiny over a recent New York Times report showing he paid no income tax in 10 of 15 years, beginning in 2000.
I paid millions of dollars in taxes.
In Cleveland, I'm Mary Maloney.
Earlier this morning, presidential candidate Joe Biden rolled through Kent and Ravenna on his train tour of Ohio and western PA. A rally was set up on the Ravenna Road Bridge where residents of Portage and Summit counties were in attendance. Also in attendance was State Senate candidate Betsy Rader and candidate for Recorder Leanne Fink. Biden was on his way out of Cleveland after last night's debate at Case Western.
The President of the United States conducting himself the way he did, I think was just a national embarrassment. But look, I just hope that the American people and those undecided voters try to determine what each of us has as an answer for their concerns.
The Ohio pandemic testing team is expected to come to campus following reports of numerous positive COVID-19 cases. Testing comes after an increase in positive COVID-19 cases among students living in residence halls and off-campus congregate housing. Testing will be conducted on October 2nd from 1 to 6 p.m. at the Center for Philanthropy and Alumni Engagement. And Kent City Council will take up an ordinance on October 7th that will prohibit mass gatherings of more than 10 non-household members within the city. This is to prevent the spread of COVID-19 during the Halloween weekend. And also, Main Street Kent has canceled its family-friendly Halloween.
The presidential debate sparked many reactions from people all over the country.
That's right, Chris, but what did students here in Kent think? Our reporter Gabby Jonas has a story for you.
Yesterday, September 29th, the 2020 United States presidential debate was held at Case Western University in the nearby city of Cleveland, Ohio. Many Kent State students tuned into the debate yesterday evening and have a say on the candidates who will be running for this year's presidency. President of the Kent State College Democrats, Tyler Gardner, spoke to fellow TV2 reporter Dante Centofanti about his views of the debate. This is what Gardner had to say.
I mean, it's hard to sum up in just a few words. Maybe just disappointed in the whole process. There wasn't a minute where Trump didn't interject himself and talk over his 2 minutes and cut over Biden and all this stuff. And Biden is sort of what the people of Ohio like. I mean, he really appeals to that labor working class vote that was very strongly for Obama and then kind of drifted away. And I think he's the kind of person that can bring it back.
Earlier today, I spoke with sophomore Paige Elberg, who holds a strong opinion on the debate and candidates from last night. Take a look. Paige, what is your political party, if you have one?
Democrat.
And who do you think won the debate last night?
Joe Biden. You don't have to say that you vote red. You don't have to say you vote blue, but you can just say that you vote red, white, and blue. Like, you are an American and you have to realize your rights. And right now those are being taken away from us.
A poll released yesterday on TV2's Twitter showed that after 70 students participating in the poll, 67% believe Biden won the debate and 33% believe Trump won. After reaching out to the College of Republicans, I did not receive a response. Reporting from Columbus, Ohio, I'm Gabby Jonas.
Thank you for that report, Gabby. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine said President Donald Trump did a great job in the Cleveland debate last night. DeWine tweeted shortly after the debate finished to comment on his opinion of the event. His tweet caused many people from both sides of the political spectrum to respond, questioning his comment on President Trump's performance. Most of the responses on social media were negative.
And the coronavirus was a hot topic at last night's debate. And the topic is hot here at home as well. In Portage County moved from red to orange earlier this week.
That's right. Some Ohio representatives aren't so happy with how Governor DeWine has handled the pandemic in Ohio. Our Jenna Gobrecht has more. Hi, Jenna.
Thanks, guys. That's right. Earlier this week, a group of Ohio Republican lawmakers motioned to file charges against Governor Mike DeWine. The group, led by Representative John Becker from Cincinnati, claims that DeWine exceeded his authority under state law and the Ohio and U.S. constitutions for COVID restrictions enforced across the state. They filed at Claremont Municipal Court with 10 different felony charges, including terrorism, inducing panic, and interfering with civil rights. This is the latest accusations in a series of attempts to impeach Governor DeWine for the handling of the coronavirus pandemic. The spokesperson for DeWine says, quote, "If this was serious, I would have a comment. Because it is blatantly absurd, I do not." Students at Kent State say they feel the restrictions are fair for the most part, even after DeWine called out the university for the rise of cases across the Portage County early last week.
Yeah, I do. I think that we're protecting ourselves and for everybody else in the community.
I guess as of right now, I feel fine about it, but I definitely think it can be better and that we can kind of work on it more and more as we go. So,
I just think that everyone has a personal responsibility to wear their masks.
Claremont County Municipal Clerk Tom Rudd forwarded Becker's complaint to County Prosecutors Vincent Fairs, who reviewed it and rejected it. With TV2 News in Franklin Hall Studio, I'm Jenna Gobrecht.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Nathan Welsh with your weather. So currently in Kent, it is 56 out. The dew point of 45, that gives us a humidity at 54%. It's pretty windy out there. Winds from the southwest at 18 miles per hour. We got visibility out to 9 miles. Across northeast Ohio, we have temperatures from the mid-50s here in Kent to low 60s around everywhere else. And across the rest of Ohio, we see all the way up to 75 in Cincinnati, but otherwise we're all pretty much hovering around the 60s. Now tonight, we're going to have some clouds, and it'll be 52 out. We have a sunset at 7:08 and a sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:20. The winds are going to die down, so that's nice. Don't have any rattling against your windows tonight. And stay tuned. I'll have this week's broadcast after the break. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you for that report, Nathan. A Shaker Heights police officer made an inappropriate gesture towards Black Lives Matter protesters in Cleveland last night during the presidential debate. Members of the police department were helping with security during the protest when an officer in a van raised his middle finger towards the crowd. The incident was caught on video. The Shaker Heights Police Department is investigating and will not release the name of the officer at this time. Green Party candidate Howie Hawkins attended the debate. See what he had to say.
And new tests are showing that COVID-19 could potentially be spread through swimming. We have the details. Stick with us.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Strawberries? Okay.
Welcome back, Portage County. Now, with heavy focus being on former Vice President Joe Biden and President Donald Trump last night, many did not talk about the other candidates.
Our own reporter Dante Centofanti interviewed Green Party candidate Howie Hawkins. Dante?
Thanks, guys. We spoke to some interesting people last night in Cleveland, but Green Party presidential candidate Howie Hawkins animately broke down his party's agenda for 2020. Last night in Cleveland, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden went head-to-head, but one candidate did not make the stage. Green Party candidate Howie Hawkins was at the debate last night, and TV2 spoke with him outside the Cleveland Art Museum.
I'm excluded, so is the Libertarian. We're on enough ballots to win the Electoral College. We got a climate meltdown. I'm the first candidate in this country to call for a Green New Deal when I ran for governor of New York in 2010. And that was taken by the Democrats as a slogan. They diluted the content, and now it's buried. It's not in their platform. We want to get to 100% clean energy and zero to negative greenhouse gas emissions by 2030.
Mr. Hawkins also broke down what he would say if he was on the debate stage with both candidates.
Well, to Trump, I'd say, when's Mexico going to pay for your stupid wall, you big liar? I'm for Medicare for all, Biden is not. I'm for a Green New Deal, Biden is not. I'm for progressive wealth taxes and estate taxes, Biden is not. So I would draw a contrast with Biden. But Trump, I would call him out on all his lies. I mean, I'm a former Marine, Vietnam era. I would ask Trump, how are your bone spurs? Trump, how are your bone spurs doing? You know, how do you walk around a golf course and you couldn't walk around a boot camp because you had bone spurs? We're off to a new nuclear arms race. You would think that would be a top campaign issue. They will not talk about it in this debate. They haven't talked about it the whole campaign.
Mr. Hawkins is a native of the Bay Area and told us no major networks have given him or his party any coverage recently. I'm Dante Centofanti for TV2 News. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Dante. Main Street's Kent Family Halloween event was canceled this year. MSR Executive Director Heather Malarsic said the crowds can be overwhelming at the event, and she believes they made the right decision for the community. Malarsic instead decided to encourage the community to support local businesses throughout the month of October by buying treats.
A system that aims to detect COVID-19 cases before they pop up in state prisons is now being implemented in at least 36 Ohio cities. Director of the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, Annette Chambers-Smith, says that the state prison system started testing wastewater samples earlier this year to see if virus particles were showing up. Right now, Ohio is using the system to test 36 cities and will soon add another 25 cities to the wastewater monitoring network. And beach water at Lake Superior has tested positive for COVID-19. Dr. Richard Melvin has been testing Lake Superior beaches since the 4th of July for the coronavirus to see if the virus spreads through swimming. However, Dr. Melvin stresses that there is no evidence that people can get infected from the water. Because the virus was found, Melvin's funding has been increased.
Has been Dr. Richard Melvin's summer workspace. He's been testing Lake Superior beaches since the 4th of July for the virus which causes COVID-19, thought to be brought into the water by swimmers. This fall, he found it.
We have detected traces of the virus at very low level.
The assistant professor at the U of M Medical School recently found trace amounts of the virus in the water along 4 Lake Superior beaches. The first time he and his associates know of it being found in lake water anywhere in the country.
Understanding where to look for the virus is really key in how to deal with these types of infections in the future.
While Dr. Melvin stresses there is no evidence that people can get infected from the water, there is a lot researchers could learn from it, including using it as a way to measure community infection.
Now, knowing that we can find it in the lake, it could be another indicator of the prevalence of the virus in the population that lives in that location. It's more of an indication of what's going on in the population that lives nearby.
There are a lot of questions yet, including why after testing popular beaches for much of the summer, the virus turned up in mid-September with far fewer swimmers around.
It's just kind of mysterious.
New findings he's just beginning to wade into.
as House Democrats are voting on a $2.2 trillion COVID-19 aid package. There are reports that the Trump administration is likely to present a plan of a $1.5 trillion package proposed 2 weeks ago. Trump has been on record saying he is for the higher amount, however. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin are set to meet again Wednesday after speaking for nearly an hour Tuesday morning in hopes of finding common ground.
Hello, I'm back with your weather. So what we're looking at tonight is pretty much just clouds throughout the entire night. And the temperatures, of course, going to start going down pretty cold since we're getting into fall now, all the way down to 47 around 6 a.m. when it'll finally clear up. Of course, clouds are going to move back in around noon, and we're going to see around a high of 57 tomorrow. Now looking at our 7-day forecast, of course, today we have showers here at 65 degrees, and we have pretty much temperatures around this 60-degree range pretty much until the weekend, with these clouds that are going to turn into showers. Now, we're going to have showers on Sunday into Monday, and those are finally going to clear up on Tuesday, and the temperature's going to tick back up, so we might see some nice fall weather come next week. Now, that's all for your weather forecast, Portage County. I've been Nathan Welsh.
All the information on potential misrepresented information in the case of Breonna Taylor when we return in 90 seconds.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
TV2 sports anchor Mackenzie Pflum with your updates on the world of sports. Let's get right into some MLB action. Game 1 of the American League Wild Card Series took place last night, the Indians not looking too hot against the Yankees. Cleveland's ace Shane Bieber gave up a 2-run homer to Aaron Judge within the first 4 pitches of the game. Judge's hit set the tone for the rest of Game 1. By the 5th inning, the Tribe were down 2-7 and took Bieber off the mound and out of the game. The Tribe were able to add 3 to the board thanks to the help of Jose Ramirez and a surprise performance by former Padres outfielder Josh Naylor. But we were not able to keep up with the New York Yankees. The final score of the night, 12-3 Yankees. Now tonight, we're all hoping the Indians can show up and show out and tie the series 1-1. To do that, they are going to need to bring their bats and pitch with authority. The Indians have fan favorite Carlos Carrasco starting on the mound for Cleveland, and the Yankees will start Masahiro Tanaka. Game 2 is set to start at 7:08 on ESPN. Sunday night's game between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Tennessee Titans has been postponed to either Monday or Tuesday following positive tests among the Titans players. The NFL released a statement yesterday saying the game will be rescheduled to allow additional time for further daily COVID-19 testing to ensure the health of the safety and health of players, coaches, and game day personnel. The finals begin tonight in the NBA bubble. LeBron James and the Lakers take on Miami Heat for the championship. Both the Heat and LA are 12-3 in the postseason play. Now the Lakers are favored to win the finals, but not without a fight from the surprising 5th seed Miami. If Miami does win, they will become the lowest seed team to win the finals. LeBron James is working for his 4th championship title. Yesterday, the 3-time French Open champion Serena Williams withdrew from this year's tournament. Williams is suffering from a lingering Achilles injury and felt like she was moving with a limp during warm-ups. She said she believes she will require 2 weeks of rest and 4 to 6 weeks of recovery. It's more than likely we won't see her play another tournament this year. That's all I have for sports, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for morning's Flashcast for more sports on TV2. I'm Mackenzie Pflum. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mackenzie. A grand juror in the Breonna Taylor case is suggesting Kentucky's Attorney General may have misrepresented the case to the public. And now there's a push to release more information. Daryl Forges has the latest.
Nationwide protests on behalf of Breonna Taylor, the emergency medical technician fatally shot in her home in March during a police raid in Louisville, Kentucky.
Why is this black woman killed in the sanctity of her own apartment? That is the question her mother has been asking since the first day this tragedy happened.
Some possible answers might be available soon. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron says he'll comply with the judge's ruling that orders an audio recording of the grand jury presentation be made available to the public.
Breonna Taylor's family is relieved because it's a step forward. We understand the journey for justice is awfully a long journey, but this is a good step forward.
This announcement comes after a grand juror filed a motion requesting that all related material from the grand jury presentation be released.
My client wants to make sure that anything that happened in there becomes something of public knowledge to the extent it's legally allowed to.
Incoming interim Louisville Metro Police Chief Yvette Gentry says the public deserves transparency.
People want to know from the moment there was an affidavit presented to the execution of the warrant in which Breonna died unto the supervision. There's a whole lot of questions.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Hershey's Chocolate and Yuengling joined forces to create a beer called the Chocolate Porter. The two brands released a draft version of the beer back in 2019, but now fans can drink the beverage in their homes in bottles. The beer is made by blending Yuengling's dark porter with Hershey's chocolate, caramel, and malts. So I don't know about you, but I think my favorite, even if it's considered, I don't know if it's considered a chocolate bar, but it's probably Hershey's. Or not Hershey's, sorry, Reese's.
Reese's? Well, I'm allergic to peanuts, so I can't eat that.
Oh,
it's really sad.
So awful. I'm
horrible.
So sorry.
I like white chocolate. It's my favorite. I hate chocolate, honestly.
What about candy in general?
I like Laffy Taffy.
Laffy Taffy.
Smarties.
I like the gummy stuff as well.
Yeah.
What about Halloween? Are you upset that it's going to be canceled?
I mean, I don't really eat that much candy because they're all peanuts, so I'm just screwed over. So it's sad, but I'm not that upset about it. I mean, I want to dress up, but you know.
All right, that'll do it for tonight's edition of TV2 News. As always, thank you for joining us.
And for up-to-the-minute debate coverage, be sure to follow us on social media at TV2KSU and tune back in with us tomorrow at 6. I'm Shane Troyano.
And I'm Chris Abreu. Have a great night, Portage County.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
For over 70 years, Smokey Bear has asked you to use fire responsibly.
Fire is due to an unattended campfire. Go time.
Here's how you can stay on the front lines of preventing wildfires. Always watch your campfire. Before leaving, drown it, stir it, drown it again, and feel that the fire is out cold.
Oh, bullseye!
And you won't need a visit from these guys.
Copy that.
You can be Smokey's wingman when enjoying nature and prevent wildfires. Visit SmokeyBear.com for more fire prevention tips.